Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and we believe yes, and what we're seeing is yes. If you think about, for example, to give you a really obvious example, think about a traveling show. How much AV do you want in a traveling show where you consider that that whole wiring harness is going to screw you up every time you strike a show and you rebuild it because the configuration is going to be different next time, right? So that's a really obvious example where we're currently working on a traveling show and basically there are no wires. So you put whatever you want wherever you want it, just make sure we have power and the system will sort itself out. Thank you very much. So does it change the way you think about AV when you're designing a traveling show? Of course. Now, when you start thinking about museums, if you're at a lower price point than anybody else is in terms of your hardware, why wouldn't you put a little bit more AV in? Why wouldn't you, do a little bit more with your exhibits? In terms of what we just did with the ARC Visitor Center that we opened earlier this year, there is no fixed graphics. It's all gone. Does it change the way you do things? Yeah, because even if you only generate your graphics using something simple like a PowerPoint thing, like you're a designer, you have client has limited budgets, instead of doing a graphic that says, here's your 10 types of water, you just alternate them and do some nice pictures in between of the individual types of water. It costs you hardly anything, but all of a sudden you have a different way of presenting that information. So do you think about that differently? Yes. Think about ADA. You don't need to design a system for just ADA. You can do whatever you want, provided you make sure that you're doing the right thing for somebody who needs a little bit of help. And at this point, you can do much better because, like I said before, you can give them a black and white image if that helps, or a high contrast image, or you can present your text in letters that size. And it doesn't affect the other part of your design work. So you have more options, more possibilities, and way more things you can do. And the other thing is, a lot of clients don't want a lot of high-tech stuff because they're worried about maintaining it. Well, if you can remote access everything that you're doing and you can give them remote assistance and you have TrueCheck, which will actually test the system for them remotely in the morning and send me an email, my guys an email, if anything is wrong with that system so that we can pop in there and have a quick look at it for them, then it changes the way that you're thinking about applying AV when it comes to just about any venue. And I know that I'm mostly talking about museums and theme parks and that kind of work, but extend that and think about restaurants and think about retail and think about all the other different possibilities that we have out there for digital signage and everything that goes with that. It basically makes technology more usable, more friendly, more maintainable, more affordable, more long-term stable. And all of a sudden you have a system that is a lot more attractive. So yes, it makes an enormous difference to go this far forward.